It's time to get your record clear and treat yourself to a fresh start and new ending. In this video, I'm bringing you a step-by-step guide on how to complete a Louisiana expungement using our online application. On behalf of JAC Louisiana, I'm going to show you how to get your record expunged without having to hire a lawyer, so watch this video until the end. Our first step is to gather your documents. You will need to obtain your background check. You'll need to contact the parish sheriff, police department, or Louisiana State Police, depending on where you were booked or cited. If you have cases in different parishes, it's probably best to get the Louisiana State Police background check. Keep in mind that these background checks are only valid for 60 days to file them with the court. To determine if you're eligible for an expungement, you need to gather your court paperwork and background check. This is important because you'll be asked specific questions about your charges, how the case concluded, and the dates related to your sentence. Start by going back to the courthouse where your case was heard. Even if you never went to court, they might still have some records. If not, you'll need to request the information from the prosecutor and the law enforcement office involved in your arrest or citation. Charges in New Orleans? For those in New Orleans with cases in the criminal district court, visit the clerk's office on the second floor. Fill out a record request form to receive your expungement packet. Once you submit it, the office will contact you in a few days or weeks to pick up your packet. This packet will contain everything you need to answer questions about your eligibility. If your case is in any other court, you'll need to request your bill of information and sentencing or disposition minutes from the clerk of court. Don't forget to also obtain your background check from the parish sheriff or Louisiana State Police. Stay with us as we guide you through the process of expungement and help you navigate the legal landscape in Louisiana. Expungement App eligibility. Now that you have your bill of information, court minutes, and background in hand, let's check your eligibility. It's essential to answer truthfully to receive the most accurate result for your case. Don't waste time and money by misleading the system. Carefully review each and every question, including the additional information listed, to ensure you are making the right selection. Here we go. Our app starts with simple questions to ensure you're on the right track. The initial questions will provide you with a clear understanding of your readiness. Please note that individuals who are currently incarcerated are not eligible to file an expungement. Is the record you're seeking to expunge your most recent or only arrest/conviction? This is another important question that will help you focus on which of your records, if you have multiple, you are seeking to expunge. Honesty is key here, as later convictions may impact your eligibility. To determine how many records you may need to collect in order to clear your record, our app asks about the number of times you have been arrested or convicted in your lifetime. It is crucial to answer this question correctly. In this video, we will walk through a felony case. However, please keep in mind that your record and answers may lead you to different questions as each response determines your eligibility path. It is essential to check your eligibility of all your convictions related to a single arrest. Did your arrest result in a conviction? Not sure? Confirm your conviction status by reviewing the options below. Your sentencing minutes or background check will provide the necessary information. Be aware, not all felony convictions can be expunged. Crimes of violence, convictions requiring sex offender registration, and certain convictions involving minor victims are among those that are ineligible. Review your own conviction against these lists to determine if yours is among the offenses that cannot be expunged. Accuracy is crucial. So here we will say that no, we were not convicted of a crime of violence, a sex offense, or a crime against a victim who is a minor. However, please be certain to select the proper answer pertaining to your situation. Find out if your drug offense is eligible for expungement. Some serious drug offenses may not qualify, but there are exceptions. Be aware of the distinction between distribution and possession with intent to distribute. Review your court records to confirm the exact charges you pled guilty to. We will then say that we did not plead to a distribution charge. Let's review the nature of your sentence. If you were handed a felony probation sentence in Louisiana, where you were never incarcerated after your conviction, that's a crucial step you need to take. Dive into your sentencing minutes and scrutinize if you entered a plea under Article 893 and if the court deferred your sentence. Keep in mind, suspended holds a different meaning if the minutes do not say deferred. Select no. Again, we will acknowledge that we did not have a deferred sentence. Discover how a first offender pardon can expedite the process of expunging your record. Unsure about what a first offender pardon entails? Select I don't know for a clear explanation on eligibility and how to obtain one. Rest assured, certain convictions qualify for this letter after completing supervision and settling all court costs. Don't hesitate to reach out to probation and parole for further guidance or a fresh copy if needed. We will again say no to the first offender pardon because we may have had earlier felonies on our record. Determining your eligibility ultimately hinges on how long it has been since you completed your sentence for this conviction. Pay close attention to your court documents and memory, as they hold crucial information. If it's an older charge, simply recalling that you finished supervision around Mardi Gras in 2008 may suffice. However, if it's a more recent conviction, knowing the exact day you completed supervision is paramount, as time is of the essence. Here, we will say that we have finished your sentence and have been off paper for more than 10 years. From this walkthrough, we will see that this record is eligible. Now, you have the option to complete your paperwork. On the screen, click here to begin the steps to complete your expungement. Next, we are going to go through the paperwork and questions to complete your expungement forms with our app. First, review all the forms you will need to file. You will need the motion, affidavit of response, the hearing order, and the expungement order. You will also need to file with your background check that has been completed in the last 60 days. The app will ask you all the questions that are required to complete the form. Some will be general information about yourself, and some will be specific about your case and your records. So we will go quickly through the personal identifiable information you already know about yourself and help you find the court and record information you need. First up, we need your case number and your court division. The case number or docket number is always at the top of your court minutes. Your division is usually a letter or number that's assigned to the courtroom. Here, I look at the top of the minute entry, and it shows our sample number 123-456. It's possible your docket number will be longer and can also start with CR or with a year like 12-. Your judicial district court is also a number 1 through 42 and is likely at the top of your court paperwork as well. For example, Cato is the first, East Baton Rouge is the 19th, and Jefferson is the 24th. Because the districts can serve multiple parishes, you must also list what parish you are filing in, like St. Tammany or Lafayette. The next question from your court paperwork asks for your SID or your state identification number. This is on your LSP background check and sometimes on your sheriff's background check. If you cannot find it or don't know it, you can leave it blank. Here, when I look at my background, this number is blank, so I will skip this question. Next, we need to know what agency or department arrested or cited you. Then, you need to find your arrest number or ATN on your background check or arrest register. If you were never arrested, you may not have this number and can list your citation number. In New Orleans, if NOPD arrested you, you should see 2 numbers. All law enforcement agencies start with a 4-digit code, and NOPD is 3600. Additionally, at the top of my record, I have a local number that is just 7 to 9 digits. Similarly, your agency item number will be from when you were booked into jail. This is created by the sheriff's office. So, if you were never arrested, you may not have one. But if you do, it often starts with a letter and then a series of numbers. Here, I can find that at the top of my arrest register, and it starts with G. Next, you will fill in your arrest date because your expungement must include all the records related to your arrest date. I find that date here in the middle of my report. Now you will have to be careful to make sure that you have complete records. Your answers to this question will determine what you will be given to fill in. If you only have arrest charges and no conviction for the arrest date, then you only select arrested but did not result in conviction. If you had a misdemeanor conviction, you may select arrests and misdemeanors if you played a charge down. Finally, if you had both misdemeanors and felonies, you will check all the boxes if you had arrests, a misdemeanor conviction, and felony conviction. Here, we will select arrests and felony as an example, but you will need to be careful to only answer what is actually in your records. Now, you will need to complete all the listed incidents and charges from your record. Your expungement must include every charge and every count that was related to your arrest date, the filing, so that all your records are sealed. If you miss a count or charge and leave it out, then Louisiana State Police or the court may not expunge it, and a part of your record will stay visible until you fix it. When this app asks about the number of arrest charges and misdemeanor and felony convictions, that's because the motion only has a limited number of spaces. But if you have more than this number, the app will help you fill out extra forms. We won't do that here, but it's available if that applies to you. So, for our examples, here we will say that we had arrests that did not result in convictions. This means you were arrested and either never charged, or the charge was dismissed or reduced, and you were convicted of something else. Each of these questions are meant to help you read and understand your court paperwork. So when it asks about the title, section, and name, you'll need to find it on your court paperwork where the charges are listed. In Louisiana, your criminal charges are all listed under Title 14 and traffic, and some misdemeanors are listed under Title 32. It should look like this. In our records, you see we were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm, 14:37.4. 14 is the title, 37.4 is the section, and aggravated assault with a firearm is the name of the charge. Then, we need to select the option that best describes how the charge was disposed of. Here's a quick rundown of what each of these options mean. According to my court minutes, I was charged with aggravated assault with a firearm, but only found guilty of aggravated assault. So I will select that the aggravated assault charge was dismissed. After you've answered this question for your first charge or count that did not result in conviction, you will need to do the same thing for every count or charge that you were arrested for that did not result in conviction. This means if you had one count, you do this only one time. But if you had 10 counts that were dismissed, you will do this 10 times. Be careful and keep count as you go so you do not miss any of these charges. Next, it will ask you if you have misdemeanor convictions. If you did, you will select yes here again. The same questions appear to ask about the statute you were convicted of with the title and section numbers and the name of the offense. Here, though, you only have two options to be eligible for a misdemeanor expungement. You were either convicted under Article 894 as a deferred sentence, and you also did a motion to set aside, which is a different option available in our app, or your sentence ended more than 5 years ago. In this example, you see we were convicted of 14:37, aggravated assault. Our circumstances have changed dramatically, with 14 as the title, 37 as the section, and aggravated assault as the charge. We are now off paper for over 5 years. This is evident from the fact that I was sentenced to probation for 2 years on October 27, 2010, and 5 years have passed since then. If you're completing your motion to set aside and expungement packet simultaneously in our app, you have the option to choose the set aside option and leave the date blank until the court completes the process. If your set aside has already been granted by the court, you can fill in the date here as well. Ensure that you thoroughly review your paperwork to confirm that you have included all accounts and misdemeanor convictions. It is crucial to double and triple check, as anything not documented will remain visible. The same rule applies to felonies as it does to arrests and misdemeanors. Carefully examine the title, section, and name of the offense in order to accurately complete the form. Afterwards, select the eligibility option that best applies to your situation. Set aside granted. More than 10 years have passed since completing the sentence. Or you have received a first offender pardon. Remember that in order to qualify for the 10-year waiting period, you cannot have any other convictions during that time. Review your paperwork one last time to ensure that all counts and charges are accurately listed. If you were charged with 3 felony counts of drug possession, make sure all 3 are accounted for. The next section consists of check boxes that require your attention. These questions are simple and require a straightforward yes or no response. Note that some questions may not be relevant to your specific case or the paperwork you possess. In regards to the DWI charge, if you were not convicted and therefore have no additional forms to submit to the OMV, select no. Similarly, If there is no need for further paperwork in your case, select No as well. Now, pay close attention to the next checkbox. It is crucial that everyone selects Yes for this question. All filings must include a background check, either from the Louisiana State Police or the local parish sheriff. Remember that this background check must have been conducted within 60 days of filing. So regardless of your situation, ensure you check Yes for this box. The remaining questions are optional, and you select it if it applies to you. If you have your bill of information and court minutes included in your court materials, you will select Yes for each. If you have a fee waiver from the DA, you will select Yes. If you have a certification letter from the DA, you will include that as well. This could be a refusal letter, or if you are eligible for an expungement under the 5 or 10-year waiting periods, you must get a letter from the DA to include in your packet. This will confirm you do not have any recent convictions that will make you ineligible and that there are no felony charges pending against you. This is also parish specific, and some parishes require it for all filings, while some will tell you to file and then the DA does the letter after your packet is filed with the court. If you have questions about the certification, call your local clerk of court. In the next question, this will only apply in a limited number of examples for individuals who may have this waived as part of their sentence. The same is true for an outcome where you were found factually innocent and ordered compensation. If those don't apply to your case, select No. The final question to complete the legal portion of your motion is whether you were arrested with someone else. This is where you need to let the court know if you have a co-defendant or if you had someone else's name as part of your arrest record. If you were arrested with someone else, but their name never appears in your paperwork, you can select No. But if you have someone else's name in your court paperwork or had hearings with a co-defendant, you should select Yes. This allows the court to know if you have to have your records redacted or if the entire record can be expunged. It's time to take the final steps to prepare and file your motion by inputting the necessary information. Since you are completing this form without the assistance of an attorney, select No and choose whether you want to digitally sign it using your computer's mouse or print it out and sign it. Additionally, provide the court with your current contact details, including a phone number and address where you can receive court notices for the next 6 months. For example, you can use the address John Smith, 1234 Callio Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70112, along with the phone number 504-555-1212. Next, you need to supply the court with the name and addresses of the district attorney, sheriff, arresting agency, if different from the sheriff, and the clerk of court. This information is easily accessible online. In Orleans Parish, include our addresses and mention NOPD as the arresting agency, as well as the sheriff's information. Finally, this is where you are telling the app all the forms you need to generate. If you have more than 3 arrests or more than 2 misdemeanors and felonies, select Yes to create supplemental forms for your case. Next, provide a code for free paperwork or go to the payment screen to receive your forms. Enter your payment information. The cost for the final version of your forms is $20. After receiving your records, print, finalize, and organize your forms. To complete your paperwork, ensure that all your charges and counts are included in the motion and supplemental sheets if needed. You must also add the numbers to your form. You will start at number 1 and put a number next to all your charges, counts, and/or convictions. Then you also need to sign page 3 of your motion if you didn't already. To organize your forms, first, you will have your motion for expungement, then the affidavit of response, then the hearing order, then the order of expungement. If you had supplemental sheets, you will put them after your motion. To the back of this packet, You will add your background check and any other court forms or paperwork you checked yes for with the motion. Once you have these forms, you are ready to file. If you have a fee waiver, or if you have the payment ready, you can head to the court to file. We strongly encourage you to double check all your paperwork again before filing. You will now take your expungement paperwork and go to the clerk of court to file it. But before you head to the clerk of court, make sure you give them a call to find out how many copies of your packet you need. While some courts may only require your original documents and will give you a copy back, many courts will ask for at least a copy for yourself or even copies for the relevant agencies. Make sure to make a copy for your entire packet and everything you bring to the clerk in order to keep your own records. Before filing, double check the date on your background check. Remember, there must be a 60-day waiting period between filing for expungement and the court's ability to grant. During this time, the clerk of court will send your expungement packet to relevant agencies for review. Each agency will review your eligibility and either complete your expungement without opposition or file an objection if they have a legal reason why you're not eligible. It's also possible that they may remain silent, in which case you'll need to wait 60 days to check on your status of your application. If an agency objects, you'll have a hearing where you can present your case to the judge. We highly recommend seeking the assistance of an attorney. If you need help, contact us at 504-322-4050 or join one of our local expungement clinics. Keep in mind that the expungement process may take longer than 60 days. However, it's important to advocate for yourself and try to schedule your court hearing as soon as possible after the 60-day waiting period. Court dockets tend to be busy, so if you wait until the 60 days are up, you might end up waiting another month or two to get on the court calendar. Additionally, some courts may not require a hearing if no agencies object to your expungement. In this case, the judge will simply sign the expungement order and the court will notify you when it's complete. Once your expungement is granted, you should get a certified copy of the entire packet and make a digital copy to save in your email or on your phone or computer. You will not get another copy of this expungement, so you should keep it in a waterproof, fireproof place and include it in any documents you evacuate with. Congratulations. Congratulations on your expungement. Rest assured, the court will order all relevant agencies to remove your record from public view. While some local agencies may act quickly, it may take a few months for the Louisiana State Police to comply with the order. Once your record is expunged with them, you will receive a certificate of compliance from the Louisiana State Police. Now let's address the most pressing question. Who can see your record after expungement? In Louisiana, an expungement means that your record is sealed from public view. This means that your employer, landlord, neighbors, and friends will not be able to view your record. However, it is important to note that certain entities, such as law enforcement, court, some state licensing agencies, and employers working with children still have access to their records. Legally, you have the right to say no if asked about a criminal record after an expungement. However, if you know that you will be applying for a license or working with an agency or employer that can still see expunged records, it is advisable to answer carefully. It is worth mentioning that these agencies will still be able to see that your record has been expunged. For instance, if you want to become a nurse, the nursing board will review your record and determine your eligibility for a license. However, once you are licensed, the hospital where you work will not have access to your expunged record. In the event that an employer or background check company does report an expunged record, it is necessary to contest that record with the company and demand its removal. For more resources and information on challenging your background check or removing records that are still visible after an expungement, please visit the JAC website.